Hi and welcome. Since it's October, it's time for me to watch and review some horror movies. And since Halloween is upon us, people are decorating the house for Halloween. Okay, and people are watching and reviewing some horror movies. Okay, I got my Halloween shirt on. Okay, and if you ask me what my favorite movie genre. I know some people their favorite movie genre is action or some horror movie or some comic book or some western, so on and so forth. For me, I don't have a favorite movie genre because for me, um, I have a favorite movie in almost every movie genre. Okay, because I can tell you what some of my favorite western movies are, what some of my favorite anime movies are, what some of my favorite comedy movies are, what some of my favorite action movies, some of my favorite horror movies, so on and so forth. Okay, that's why um, I like almost every type of movie genre. Okay, so uh, since it's October, I decided um, do a video on horror movies that I highly recommend if you're a big movie fan or a horror movie fan. Okay, so and then maybe uh, next year uh, I will maybe do a video telling y'all what some of my favorite horror movies of all time. Okay, and next year they're supposed to come out with Scream 7. Okay, so maybe next year I will go back and watch Scream again, leading up to Scream 7, and also on Peacock they're supposed to do a mini series called Crystal Lake, like a prequel series about the origin story of Friday the 13th. Okay, so I might watch that and then maybe talk about or go back and watch and review Friday the 13th movie for that. Okay, so you'll get some more me talking about horror movie or slasher movie next year. Okay, so let me know in the comment section below what are some horror movies that you highly recommend for people. Okay, if they're a big movie fan or horror movie fan. Okay. So they did not in any order, and I decided I'm not gonna do it like a top 10 because if I do a top 10, then you know, then I might say, well, some of them might get left out, okay, and then there's some other ones that I might recommend. To be honest, I might not have seen, or I might only saw one or two times, but to be honest, I might need to watch some more. Okay, one more time. Okay, so I got them right here in front of me, and I'm gonna just go right through them, talk about them real quick. Okay, um, so I got Halloween, John Carpenter Halloween. Okay, this is one of the few rated R movies I grew up with in my childhood. So when I was a little kid, I did grew up with the rated R movies like Psycho, Dirty Harry movies. Just to name a few rated R movies I grew up with in my childhood. Okay. Um, okay, and I think Michael Myers might be my favorite slasher icon. That or Leatherface. Okay, um, okay, but to me, this is one of the greatest slasher movies of all time. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And so this is one of the horror movie I recommend. if you're a big movie fan or a big horror movie fan, if you like watching horror movies, and um, Halloween came out, and it said it only an hour and 31 minutes, and came out in 1978. It got 97%. Okay, um, okay, and to be honest, I think he's more scary and more creepy than Jason Voorhees. Okay, um, now to me, this is the best one in his franchise, the Halloween franchise. There's a couple of good ones. Okay, and to be honest, I was really excited for the 2018 one, and I thought it was okay. And then the other two that came after the 2018 one, to be honest, were the power garbage. So, so since I'm a, I think I bought the 2018 one, but I never bought the other two. Okay. Um. Okay. Um. So I would say there are only like 3 or 4 good Halloween movies, and the rest are power garbage. And maybe later down the road I will watch and review a Halloween movie. Okay, and tell you which one I like. Okay. Um. Now the next one. Um. Now this is a debate. Some people say I think critics say this is a thriller, but I think a lot of movie fans consider this a horror movie. Jaws. Okay. Um. So yeah. Okay. And a lot of people say this is one of the great movies of all time. And okay. Um. And people say that this is the greatest short movie of all time. Okay. Uh, but okay, you have an awesome movie, the greatest short movie ever, and then turn it into one of the worst franchises. Okay. Now I don't know if I hate second one like a lot of people do, but I know 3 and 4 are power garbage. Okay. But um, okay. Um, Jaws came out in 1975, and it got 97. Okay. And PG. Now, um, back then, a lot of movies got either G or PG, and to be honest, I think Jaws could be rated R. Okay, because you had a lot of people get eaten, and the guy get eaten on the boat. Okay, so yeah. Um, you have Tremors. Okay, I'm a big Tremor fan. I'll be really happy if they came out with another one. I'll probably be more happy if they came out with another sequel and with some of the characters came back instead of a remake or reboot. Okay. The first one um, is probably like the best one. Okay, because it had Kevin Bacon in it, and I don't know why Kevin Bacon never came back in the other one. Okay. Um, okay. And also, it had Reba McEntire in it. Cause she's more famous for being a country western singer and one of the more famous country western singers of all time. Than a movie star. Okay, but I really like the guy that let's see here uh let's see here let's see who's the guy in Tremor? Trimmer. Brooke Grummer, okay, the guy with all the guns, and he goes on. I think mainly in Trimmer 3 and beyond to Tremor 3 and to 7 becoming the main uh, character. Okay. Um, Fred Ward. Um, no, yeah, Fred Ward. Cause Fred Ward is the main character in 2, and I thought it was the underrated one. And that's the one where you saw them start walking. Okay. But Tremor 1 got 88%. Okay? So you can say this is like a horror black monster movie. Okay? Um, Another one, um, hey, now, I bought this, a couple years ago. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm planning on later down the road, open it and do a marathon and watch it. So basically, I only seen like 5 or 6 of these movies, so I never seen all 30 of them. I would say, let's see here. I would say Dracula. I would say Frankenstein. The Bride of Frankenstein. The only problem I have with the Bride of Frankenstein is um, she don't come into it until um, like the like end of the movie. Okay, when the movie like have like 2 or 3 minutes left. Okay, they should call it Frankenstein Return. Okay, but all the ones that I grew up with, those are my favorite. Okay, and I have Frankenstein on VHS tape. Okay, um, now, um, and then um, the original Godzilla. Okay, um, now, um, now let me see here. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, um, why did he recommend Godzilla when that's not a horror movie? That's a monster movie. Because the other day when I looked up uh, Godzilla and another monster movie came up horror movie. Okay, um, it said sci-fi horror. Okay, and they got 94. Okay, so yeah, and to me this is one of the great black and white movies of all time. Okay, and I still recommend it if you haven't seen it. Okay, now there's a debate uh, that this might be the greatest Godzilla movie, and you got Godzilla minus one. Okay, and I saw it the same year that came out the Indiana Jones movie. Okay, um, okay, I didn't hate that Indiana Jones movie, and a lot of people did, and I know that movie diverse. I see a lot of people like that Indiana Jones movie, Dial Destiny, and a lot of people hate it. Okay, uh, but I'm planning on watching it again and and and, and watching it back to back for the fourth one and see which one I like better. Okay, 'cause I haven't watched it since I saw it in theaters, but I saw that the same year Dial Destiny came out, and it became my favorite movie of the year. Okay, and oh man, I'm like, if you're a Godzilla fan, highly recommend it. Godzilla was grabbing people. with his mouth and throwing them up in the air. I'm like, wow, this is the scariest Godzilla ever been in a Godzilla movie in a long time. Godzilla was scary and cared about the human character. I'm like, man, hey, Toho know how to make a Godzilla movie. Okay, American version of Godzilla and King Kong, they need to learn from this. Okay, and I think it got like 100%. Let me see. 99%. Wow. The audience, 98. Wow. Awesome. Okay. Um, okay. King Kong, one of my favorite childhood movies, and I didn't know that it was a horror movie until I looked on the back of it and it said "Great of all horror films." I'm like, what? That's not a horror movie. That's a monster movie. And then I looked it up, and it says it's a horror movie. Okay. Um, King Kong. Okay, it said horror slash adventure, and it got 97%. Okay, so I highly recommend that movie. Okay, if you're a big movie fan or a big horror fan. Okay, okay, so that'll be up to you if you consider that a monster movie or a horror movie. Okay, um, now um, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think now I only watched it like one time. Okay, but I think the first one was the best. So I would say I recommend the first one. Okay. Now I'm doing a marathon of watching Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and going into Freddy vs. Jason. I think I only watched Freddy vs. Jason one time. Then I was a little kid. Okay. So I'm doing that again, and then turn around watching the Friday the 13th remake and Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Okay. Um, but I always thought that Freddy was cool. He was scary. And I never thought that Jason was scary. Okay. I thought Freddy was more cool, or scary, whatever you want to call it, than Jason. Okay. So yeah, I recommend the first one. I think the first one got like what 94%. Okay. And I think his movie have better plot than Friday the 13th. 94%. Okay? Okay, it got 94%. Okay? Now, um, talking about Freddy Krueger, um, um, I'm gonna go into let's see here, where is it? Friday the 13th. Okay, I would say this is the best one. Okay. Um, okay. Um, it, I think it's like the higher rated one out of all of them. See here, Friday the 13th. Okay. It got 68%. Okay. Um, this is this one is known for a couple of things. Where Kevin Bacon get killed. Where Jason's mother does the killing. Okay. Uh, and then there's a girl in the movie that survived, and at the end she killed Jason's mother, chopped her head off. Okay. And, but to be honest, uh, Jason is an iconic slasher killer, but his movies, to be honest, are just stupid. They're the same thing over and over. Uh, um, um, Most of the movies they're doing drugs, smoking, having sex, and then Jason go to kill all the kids or the teenagers, what do you want to call them? I'm like, yeah, okay. If you put a story into it, the movie or the franchise, it would be better, like a Halloween movie, okay. Um, but okay, um, like when Tommy came into the franchise, the two movies that he was in, uh, that's when it was kind of getting better. But I'm like, yeah, but they should have Tommy in all the movies. Then it would got better. Okay. Um, but um, even um, when Tommy was in it, it was just okay. So this is like the only difference. Okay. And so I would say this one. Okay. So so I'll give you my more in-depth thought maybe next year whenever Peacock do the prequel of Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake. Okay. Um, so there only like a couple good ones after this one, and those are the one with Tommy, the boy that brutally killed Jason Voorhees, and then they put him in like the mental institution or whatever. Okay, and then what? The next one after that, he want to put a chain around him and drown Jason. Okay, but but out of the Friday the 13th movie, this is the one that I would recommend. Okay. Um, Now, um, I would say Scream. Okay. Now to be honest, I only seen Scream one time. All the movies, and next year they're doing Scream 7. So I'll give you my more in-depth thought as I watch and review Scream again. 1 to 6. Okay. Um, okay. Um, okay. I think I heard people say over the years that Scream stays the horror French, the horror genre, or stays the slasher genre. Okay, but a couple months ago when I was watching, back in early 2025 when I was watching Scream, franchise for the very first time, because I never grew up with it. Um, I think the one that really got my attention was the first one. 'Cause I really liked the opening. It was really good. Okay, that'd be the one that I would recommend. Okay, and for the uh, Scream one, 78%. Okay, now um, now with Annabelle and all those other doll movies coming out, they made today. Chucky is more iconic. Because every time I go into uh, you know, the Halloween stores and I see Chucky, I'm like, that's Chucky. And and so I never grew up with Chucky, just like I never grew up with Scream. And then a couple months ago, I finally watched Chucky. Okay, um, and I think the first one is the best. Okay, um, so yeah. Okay, so I will um watch them again and review them and see what other one I like and see, uh, okay? But the first one, okay? And, and Child Play. 64, okay? Okay? Now, um, the first two Alien movies, now to be honest, I'm not a big Alien fan, I'm a Predator fan. I'm just a casual Alien fan, a Predator fan. So every time they make an Alien movie or a Predator movie, I don't get super excited. So so there's some franchise that I put on my list. I'm just a casual fan. One of them is Alien and Predator, and another one um, is Jurassic Park. Okay, those are the franchise that eventually maybe I'll get around to watching the movie. Okay, but out of the Alien movie, the first two are the ones that I recommend if you're a movie fan or a horror fan. Okay, and I think the first two are best. And I think these over the years, and I think the first one is my favorite. Okay, um, um, but I'm still going to include the second one as well because the second one is the one where she's in that little what is it, machine or robot and she said get away from her, you bitch. Okay. Um, now Alien got 93%. Alien 2 94. Okay. And then um, Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is like my favorite Predator movie. Okay. Because, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, it says that it's an action slash horror. Okay. And if it didn't say it was a horror movie, then I would never knew it was a horror movie. I would just knew that it was like either an action movie or a monster movie. Okay. Um, it, it says that 80%, but I still think it's a classic. Okay. I'll probably give it a little higher rating. Okay. Um, Another one, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, now, before I talk about this movie, I highly recommend uh, two Michael Bay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake with Michael Bay, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre the beginning. So I don't need to look it up, because if you look it up, it probably got like 40 to 20, somewhere in there, 40 to 20, both of them, okay? I know there are a lot of fans like these two, and these probably like the best after the original, okay? A lot of fans like these two, and I grew up with these two when I was little, in the early 2000s. I had a lot of fun, okay? Um, and it took me a long time before I saw the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre got like 84%. For me, I would give it like a 90 or 95 or something. I think the original is awesome, okay? And I like the ending. It's awesome, okay? I think Leatherface is scary and all that, okay? And in the remake and the beginning, his dad is scary, the cop, he's beating down the kid. But in here, Leatherface scary, okay? Okay. And to be honest, I haven't seen all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so there was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It came out a couple years ago, like I don't know, like what 2022 or 2023. I heard people say it was terrible, so I don't know. So maybe later down the road, I will watch everything of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie if I'm considering myself a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. But I think these are like the only ones that I think. Okay, and the original one my favorite, and then these two will be like my second and third favorite. Okay, now um, uh, it with um, Tim Curry. Yeah, okay. Um, I know there was a remake and a couple years ago, and I saw it. I liked it. Okay. Now with this one, a lot of people like part one, but not part two because of the spider. Okay. Um, but okay, to me, Tim Curry was always scary as the clown and it, and to me, the most popular clown ever. So I like it. I think you should watch it. Okay. Another one. Uh, well, let's see what they give it first before I move on. It 67. Okay, but for me, I would give it at least an 80 or higher. Okay. Cujo. This is another rated R movie that I grew up with in my childhood, and it scared the hell out of me when I was little, and made me afraid of dogs. Okay, I know, okay, but I highly recommend it. Okay, and it took me a long time before I found out that it was written by Stephen King. Okay, you know, it was based on a Stephen King book called Cujo. That Stephen King wrote a book called Cujo and then turned into a movie. Okay. Another one of my another movie that I highly recommend is The Sixth Sense. And if you're a Bruce Willis fan, I highly recommend it. And if you're M. Night Shyamalan, and you probably heard of this movie, you probably seen this. Okay, to be honest, I'm a M. Night Shyamalan fan, and he's one of my favorite directors. Okay, because the reason why I'm a M. Night Shyamalan fan, even though he get uh people badmouth him, because uh I tell people that I like him because he's the only few directors out there that make original movies. Nowadays, all we get is remake, reboot, sequel. We don't get any original movie no more. And M. Night Shyamalan give us original movies. Okay, and this is a classic, and it has one of the more iconic and famous um, um, ending, twist, whatever you call it. I think dead people. The whole movie was Bruce Willis character was dead the whole movie. Okay. Um, okay. 86%. Okay. The audience gave it 90. Okay. Um, so every time, um, so M. Night Shyamalan is one of those directors that every time he make a movie, come to theater, I go check it out. Okay. Okay. Now, uh, Saw. I would say the first one. The first one uh, got that twist ending where the whole movie you think the guy in the middle of the room was dead, and then that one guy he cut his foot off, and then he crawled until that one guy, um, don't worry, I'll come back, and then he crawled out of the room, and then the other guy gets up and shut open the door and shut it. Goes, game over. To me, that's awesome. Okay. Now, you could say for me, I would say that all the other movies are Power Brothers. It got people in trap, cutting the eye down, putting needles in their head, cutting their arm off. Okay. The first one is iconic, and I highly recommend it. But okay, um, like um, either like the third or fourth movie when it came out. I think it was like the fourth one. I went as Jigsaw for Halloween, and I have the Halloween mask. Okay. Um. Okay. And I was, cause most of the movies, probably all of them, got like bad reviews, and I was shocked. Like a couple months ago, I looked up um, the Saw franchise, and I was shocked that I found like one of the last two movies, one of them got like 80%. I'm like, wow, that's better than the original. And I think the original only got like a 50 or 60%. Okay, let's see here. Saw. Um, Saw one. Okay, uh, the original Saw movie got 50%. The audience gave it 84%. Okay, Um, Saw, the Black Dog movie that came out in 2023, Saw X got 81%. So probably what I need to do is watch the first one and then watch uh, Saw X and see which one I like better and see which one I consider better. Stuff like that. Okay? But for right now, uh, I would consider the original. Okay? Now I got two more movies that I would recommend if you're a big movie fan or a horror fan. One of them is The Bird. Okay? The Bird, um, 94%. Okay? The audience, 83. But to me, this is one of Alfred Hitchcock's best movies. And Alfred Hitchcock, one of my favorite directors. Okay? Um, okay? Um, okay? It's about these birds attacking people in town. And some people get killed. And the guy, the woman, and a couple of the other people, they have to border up the house. And the birds try to peck their way in the house. And the movie ends with all the birds are like really quiet. And the woman, they have to take the woman to like the hospital or something. So they drive real slow, and the birds are like real quiet. But the whole the whole movie the whole movie before that, they were like attacking people, and they think the woman is like evil and stuff, making the bird going crazy, killing people, attacking people. Okay, so yeah, one of Alfred Hitchcock's best movies. But to me, in my opinion, I would say, I'm a big horror fan. Uh, uh, yeah, uh, I, I like horror movies as much as some of the other genres, like western, comedy. And I would say, if someone asked me what I consider, in my opinion, the greatest horror movie ever made, or the greatest slasher movie ever made, I would consider Spectre. Okay, in my opinion, I also consider that to be Alfred Hitchcock's uh, uh, best movie. When I think of Alfred Hitchcock, I think of Spectre. Okay, now I never seen the TV show. I never seen uh, Psycho 2, 3, and 4. So if you've seen the TV show, or if you've seen any of the other sequels to Psycho, and they're good, and you think I should watch them, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay? Um, Psycho got 97%, and the audience 95. And if in this movie, you know, it's the guy, Norman Bates from the hotel, who just about the woman and killed. And there was an article that said that, I forgot what article it was. It might be like for Rolling Stone magazine, or TV Guide or something, that said that the shower scene is the second greatest movie scene of all time that they consider. So if that's the second greatest movie scene of all time that they consider, I like to know what they consider the number one greatest movie scene of all time. Okay, so that's all the horror movies that I consider. You know, I highly recommend. Thank you, and have a happy Halloween.